Hello, hello. Cool, cool, cool. Hey, I don't know if you can hear me. Put this down even more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So hopefully you can hear me. If you can't, let me know. I'm just trying to get some last minute things set up before Chris joins the call. Trying out some new things. So we got like a little transparency thing going. So actually, let me just jump. Okay. Hey, look, it's me. This is my head. Um, hey, what's up? We're gonna start pretty soon as Chris shows up, we'll kind of like jump into the what we want to cover today and just the recording and all that kind of stuff. Until then, I'm just trying to make sure that all of the stuff is set up. So if I sound decent to you, let me know. Okay, it sounds like Ryan says we're clipping a bit. I think there might be a little bit of a delay. I did pull it down quite a bit, and so we should be. Oh shoot! I got two audio sources on my head. Whew. It's not what we want.
Test. Oh,
Hey, what's up?
hey, not too much. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I just played back. My own voice played back into my headset, and it was turned all the way up. So I just blew my own ears out. That was great.
I'm trying to figure that out right now. So it looks like we had a little bit of clipping early on. I think Ryan, let me know if right here is about good. I think it should be. One thing, I don't know if you've dealt with this, Chris, but like one thing that OBS kind of sucks at is that there's not like or you could tell me, is there like a plugin or something that I could like master certain things? Because it seems like I have control over the audio source, but like not something where I could like apply like like a limiter or like a compressor on like the overall type of output.
You could do voice meter.
Voice meter, is that a plugin?
That is. You're on Windows or Mac?
Mac.
I don't know if it runs on Mac, but voice meter is what I would use on Windows.
Okay.
For that idea.
Gotcha.
Of the idea of like mixing multiple signals and putting them together and things like that.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
It's very deep as a program. It's like the Photoshop of like whatever, but like yeah, that's where I would start looking.
Okay, we still have some. Let's see. People are saying there's still some clipping. So I wonder how's your audio chain looking on your side?
I haven't changed anything, so maybe I can look at my input. How bad is the clipping?
I don't know. It says that it's better. So I'm trying to make
better.
better than what it was. So that's a good thing. I wonder if I can hear it. Let me on your side. Oh yeah. No.
I haven't changed anything, so maybe I can.
Oh, I can hear it. That's pretty bad. Let me see.
Do you hear it in Zoom? Is it me or is it through your chain?
I think it might be through my chain. I hear maybe a little bit on your end, but I can't really tell. Hold on a second. Let me see.
Okay. If you want me to adjust anything, let me know.
Okay. Okay, maybe I can do this. I'm gonna reduce you, reduce me. Let's see if that gets us.
The like overlaid background is really nice on the screen.
Thanks. I'm like, my goal is to like every time I do one of these streams, just make one thing a little bit better.
That's a solid move.
So this is all I have right now. Is my one for today was just to try to put like an overlay to be like, hey, we're not really doing the thing yet. It's we're starting to do the thing. Let's see. I'm gonna play this back. Oops. one thing a little bit better.
That's a solid move.
So yeah, I wonder. Let's see. So I'm not seeing it so much on.
I can try turning down my outputs or whatnot.
Yeah, I think we're probably getting enough from you if you want to pull that down a little bit. And
How's that? I just turned down my output.
that sounds good to me. And then say something real quick.
Testing 1, 2.
Okay, I'm gonna reduce mine a little bit. I think I need to figure out how to. So I have this mix pre like mixing board thing. I think I need to figure out how to make it that left and right output like post fade, because I think right now it's pre fade, and
Okay.
there's some other type of. I think there's some other like input getting applied.
I just heard myself
somewhere
on the stream. It sounds much better.
Okay,
So
cool.
that might be it.
Mixing board thing. I think I need to figure out how to make it that left and
delay
right
on
output
YouTube
like
is like 15 seconds or something.
Yeah, it's pretty strong. I also I should probably I have like the normal. Okay, cool. Brittany says it's much better. Thank you.
Yeah, Ryan does too.
A lot better. Okay, cool. Perfect. Let's go with that and see how it goes.
Sure.
I think yeah, I'm just going to have to keep playing with it. That'll be the thing that I make a little bit better next time.
Audio chains are rough, man.
I know.
There's so many points of failure and none of them have feedback.
Yes. All right. So hopefully. Oh, crap. Okay. Well, dude, OBS is a thing, man. A thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Do you use OBS or Streamlabs OBS?
I've used both. I
Uh-huh.
switched recently to OBS because I stream into Discord mostly now.
Oh,
And
interesting.
the Streamlabs OBS like preview window comes with like a special title bar
Okay.
that you can't get out of the stream.
Oh.
So the OBS windowed preview doesn't show the title bar if you stream into Discord. So that's why I use regular OBS, and I use regular OBS for MDXConf as well.
Okay. So many things to think about. I feel like we have like a similar setup here going on though, which is kind of neat.
Mine will fade out to a different color soon, so we'll be off again.
What light are you using?
Whatever Joel recommended, you know. It's like this little square thing that's like this big.
Hold on.
It's gonna be the thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it this guy?
That looks right. Yeah, that's the same thing. Literally the same light. The focus whatever thing.
Yeah.
It's not focused right, but it's focused something else.
The Falcon Eyes?
Falcon Eyes. Yeah.
Falcon Eyes. Yeah.
I got nothing. I bought it. It's behind me now.
Oh man. 54 is good. All right. Yeah, I feel like Joel is like he's got his finger on the pulse of all that stuff.
Got that affiliate bucks rolling in, obviously. It's amazing that he has just like the post that like if anybody's like, what do I do? I'm like, first of all, do anything. And if you're past that, here's a blog post.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so this is the part where we just kind of figure out what we want to talk about. I think the high level stuff is covered. We really I want to talk with you, I guess, like from a high level about like Discord, and then kind of like the artifact of that is like what you're doing with all the Party Corgi network stuff. I think it's interesting, the idea, and I'd love to touch on this more, that you're streaming directly to Discord.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'd love to talk with you about kind of like your decisions about what goes where, and when and why and all that stuff. Yeah, is there anything in particular that you would want to make sure that we cover? Just kind of going from those high level things.
No, I mean, I'm sure we'll get to stuff if we need to, and if not, then we won't.
Yeah, this is super casual. This is just us hanging. This is actually like, instead of me asynchronously bugging you about all this stuff on Twitter. I was like, everyone could level up if we just hang out for a little bit.
Yeah, I actually super like that approach where it's like, you want to have a talk? Well, do you want to record it? Well, we could just ship it somewhere and then other people can watch it. There's so much stuff locked up in like those like one-on-one, two people with a lot of context on each other's stuff
Yeah.
conversations. And I feel like that's one of the like, yeah, okay. So I guess we're starting.
Okay, wait, hold
We
on.
both have okay. Go for it.
If we're gonna actually start, sorry, would you mind recording an audio for me?
Yeah. What do we need?
Anything. You could do it in QuickTime. You could do it in whatever
Oh,
yeah, just a local audio.
okay. Is it like a or a noise sample? I'm just gonna record the background noise. Or
Oh, no. Just for like your audio track. So when we
oh,
podcastify
right.
it. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, makes sense.
You're like, "Oh yeah, this is eventually going to
Right.
be a podcast."
Well, things. Have you seen Zoom's like? Oh, so you know what might have happened actually? I toggled Zoom's like don't compress and mess with my audio button.
Oh, they have one of those?
They have something like that. And I'm not entirely sure what it does because I wasn't actually testing at the time that I clicked the button.
Oh.
But there's a thing.
I've always wanted them to have such a feature because, there's so many people who are like trying to do like the high quality audio stuff, but like different from the video stuff, which is really irritating because like I like to be able to see the person that I'm talking with. Like it makes a
Yeah.
huge difference for me. And so like none of those solutions have really been like really great. And I'm just like, I just want Zoom to be like, hey, pay us X number dollars more and we'll let you like actually get access to like the wave files, right? Like
There's another button that will give you separate audio tracks for each person as well. That I
yes,
discovered.
I have that enabled. Actually, I need a good reminder. I need to hit record right now, which is amazing, but it's still like the compressed version,
Yeah.
which is fine in a pinch, but I like getting the real deal if we can get it.
Yeah, it's definitely backup level. Like, oh crap, everything else bugged out.
Yeah. I just want, both of us to sound pristine. It's.
And it's hard. I've been doing this with my own podcast and whatnot, and like, man, it's tough.
It's
So,
tough.
like,
It's tough.
it's tough even when people have like all of the equipment and everything.
Yeah.
It's significantly easier when they do, but it's still tough. And then like when people show up and they're like, I'm gonna use my MacBook laptop mic in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh no, what am I gonna do with this?
Hey, how do I enable this RGB thing that you got going on? I'm going to do that, and then we're going to
It
go.
is setting
live.
7 on the presets or something.
Okay. Just because we just gotta. We're so close.
Scene 6.
We're so close that.
So there's a fast one and a slow one. I think I have the slow one on right now.
Going the wrong way. Scene 6.
I think 7 is the fast one and 6 is the slow one.
HSI. Boom. Okay. Now anyone who has like a obsessive oh wait, we're close. I was gonna say anyone who has
right
like
a that's really surprising actually. I have no idea how you would make sure that
I was gonna say anyone who has like kind of like an obsessive compulsive thing going on is gonna be like, why is he red and he pink? I can't do it.
One rotation and the other.
Oh, I know that would just drive me nuts. Okay, cool. Awesome. Let's just, you know what? We're going to have fun. Let's just dive into it. I think, feel free to kind of like mention stuff in the chat. I think we'll probably have a dedicated time at the end if you're still around to answer questions. So I guess like stick around for that. And then I think, but until then, I don't have the brain bandwidth to actually like manage a conversation and chat yet. I'm working on it. I'm doing my exercises.
Definitely a skill.
So awesome. Cool. So let's do this thing. Thanks everyone for showing up and hanging out. Chris, thanks for being here. And we will start in let me make sure recording all the right places. Good. Okay. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Chris Biscardi, welcome back to React Podcast.
Thanks for having me. It's always a pleasure being on.
It is. It is. I always love chatting with you, and it's kind of funny. This has been like a I don't know how this happened, but it's been a month of like third appearances for whatever reason. I like I think life's been a little bit stressful, and so I was just like, you know what I want. I just want to talk to people that I enjoy talking with.
Mhm.
And like keep it simple, make it easy on myself, just hang out for a little bit. So that's what we're doing today.
I feel that. I feel that a lot.
So the big overarching thing that I wanted to talk with you about is like I have always admired your ability to think about things from a community perspective, and I feel like you have invested a lot into the tooling and the places where that community happens. And I just wanted to pick honestly just like pick your brain about like
Mhm.
what to do, because I know I'm trying to figure that out better. I'm trying to take React podcast from just like me having conversations that like go public, which is fine,
Yep.
to like actually getting a little bit more, um, I guess, providing a little bit more value by like being kind of taking on some of the characteristics of the people who listen to the show, who enjoy the show week to week, and want to be like a little bit more involved. So that's like the kind of high thing, but like specifically, I want to talk with you about like Discord and like streaming and Party Corgi Network, all that kind of stuff. So first, just so we're not leaving anybody behind, tell me about Party Corgi Network. Like what is it to you? What's the like high level pitch on that?
Ooh, what is it to me and what I pitch it as are probably two different things.
Awesome. I want to hear both. I want to hear both.
I guess we'll go with the pitch first. The pitch is that it's a community of practice. You are somebody who's trying to write blog posts or ship a product or just learn new things with a group of other people who are trying to learn those same kinds of things. Um, this is a place for you, right? This is a place for you to come and enjoy the practice of doing the thing and do it with other people. And we've got channels from content creation to music production to product business kind of stuff, and uh, that's a whole lot of fun. Um, what is it to me? What is it to me evolves a lot. Uh, Man, it started as this small thing, and I didn't really intend for it to be like a big thing. And now there's I don't know, we're pushing close to 2,000 people at this point. Maybe
Nice.
we're a little bit under that, but yeah, it's now like, and also in the context of like quarantine and everything,
Yeah.
it's become like a community, and like a co-working space for me almost in some ways.
Yeah.
And I've met a bunch of friends in there now, and yeah, I don't know, like it's what it is personally to me is like a very personal thing, right? But the pitch is sort of like you can come here and find some community and do the thing that you like doing with other people who like doing it. And it's very much not like Carl was tweeting earlier about like transactional communities and like the question and answer vibe that some communities have. And Party Corgi is very much not that, right? We kind of purposefully avoid having like the Q&A channel or something like that, where people come in, they drop a question, they don't participate ever, and then they get it answered and they leave. That's not really what we are. That's not really what we're here for. We're here if you want to commit to doing your thing and you want to commit to doing it with a group of other people, here's the group of people that you can commit to doing it.
Man, I love that. I love that so much. The You touched on something that I think is really important, like the timing of it, and how
Mhm.
like what it's meant to you has changed as we have gone from like a normal way of living in tech into like a quarantined way of living in tech. And I think that that had a lot of ramifications that like we just weren't necessarily ready for. But it
Mhm.
sounds like Party Coordinating Network gave you a place to make that transition at least a little bit more seamless, and to
Mhm.
feel like you still had like a lot of the parts of the community that you enjoyed and like wanted to have and foster kind of going into this like pretty difficult and isolating time.
Yeah, it was a super interesting thing that happened because Party Corgi started about a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, right? A year and a couple months. So it definitely wasn't like oh, quarantine happened. Let's try to like move what we're doing in real life here. This was a space
Yeah.
for this stuff before quarantine. And it just so happened that it started like kind of shortly before quarantine and the pandemic and whatnot. Um, and I think that that's super important because there's a lot of people trying to start communities now, and they're trying to start communities sort of post quarantine as a result of quarantine, like directly because quarantine happened.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm not seeing a lot of them sort of like succeed because it's a different space and
Yeah.
it doesn't do the same things. So like you don't get the interpersonal like face to face interaction because everything that you do has to be through Zoom or voice chat or video
Sure.
chat or text, right? Like it's a very async by default world, and it's very. But yeah, I think that there were some huge benefits to having the community established, so to speak, before quarantine hit, and then throughout quarantine, it's been for me especially, it's been great for just like being in contact with people.
Yeah.
And like there are people that I didn't know before Party Corgi existed, and now I talk to like every day, right? Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Now you mentioned like a lot of intentionality around like making sure that it's not just a, question and answer type of place, but that there
Mhm.
actually is, we hear the word community a lot, but I feel like a lot of times there's not necessarily intentionality around what you want the community to be, how you want it to be different, and then the actual guidelines or rules that you set in place to kind of ensure that it remain or that it becomes the thing that you want it to be, like that it gets fostered in the direction that you want to see it grow.
Mhm.
What are some of the ways that you I mean, I'm sure that there are plenty of questions and answers happening, but how do you prevent or how do you reward the right thing that actually helps the community grow in the way you want to see it?
Yeah, the incentive mechanisms are really interesting because, and this is something that I've been thinking a lot about because we hit it somehow on like um, a group and a way of behaving where people that come in that are like could be problematic or like I've seen be like aggressive or like anti some language somewhere else or something like that, right? They kind of opt out,
Hmm.
and they opt out pretty quickly. Um, and it's a really interesting phenomenon to see because I look at it and I realize that more and more the early like cadre of people or whatever established that culture of
Interesting.
being here and doing the whole practice thing. Like it's a place to be and do the thing that you want to do, right? It's not a place to like um, just use, which is really interesting. Um, and like I guess there's no um, like we don't intentionally prevent people from coming in and asking like one question and leaving, right? Like nobody's like, yeah, you haven't been here, we're not going to answer your thing. um
You must participate for 1 month first before
right,
you can
like
ask a question.
there's really no barrier other than like accepting the code of conduct, right?
Mhm.
And like that applies whether you accept it or not, so like congrats. um but yeah, I mean there's no like you do get a lot more positive sort of feedback and like value
Mhm.
out of showing up than you do out of coming here once. Like, hey, I just wrote an ebook. I've never participated here, but I'm going to use it as a marketing channel. And people
Yeah,
will
yeah.
kind of just ignore you,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Like, they'll be like, that's cool. But like, we don't know you. Why do we care?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's interesting because like, you don't want people to like be blocked from coming in. Um, but the behavior of the people as they come in and realize that this is a community of people who are like here to do the thing and not like not be used as a marketing channel or something like that is really interesting.
Yeah. I've heard this reinforced kind of over and over again. When we talked with Saran Barak about maybe like a year and a half ago, I'm talking about kind of Code Newbie and how it
Mhm.
started, and then also, I mean, I've never had the privilege of talking with him, but um, shoot, now his mind's his name slips my mind right now. Um, built CD Baby. Uh, Crap. Okay. Anyway,
Derek
I'm sorry.
Seaver, is
Sivers.
that
Yeah, yeah. Derek
Sivers?
Sivers.
Sivers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He has this whole thing about kind of like fostering your first like followers, I guess, and kind of like making sure
Mhm.
that like the second person to join your community like knows what's up, right? Like
Mhm.
knows all of your values, like and is excited about them. and like then that will like kind of extend to like the third and the fourth person and like kind of grow naturally. And I like hearing that kind of, this was maybe more a little bit more organic. Like this was the community that you wanted and people latched
Mhm.
onto it, and because it was valuable for them, kind of wanted to protect the same thing.
Yeah, it's really interesting because like especially when you're talking about Discord, there's a lot of like fan clubs or like
Mm,
there's a streamer and this is their Discord. And Party Corgi is very much like not a me thing, right?
yeah.
Like I started the server and I can't really ever get away from that fact. So like hey, I did. But like it's very much if the community wasn't there, it wouldn't be anything,
Hmm.
right? Like I'm not self-sustaining the community by any means, right? So it's really interesting to have gone from I guess when it started, it was I was streaming on Twitch, and I was like, "There's a bunch of people that keep showing up," um, and like they show up every time I stream, but like in between, they have nowhere to like talk to each other, and I don't know if
Yeah,
they're connected at all in the rest of their lives. So like it'd be cool to have a spot for those people to like be able to communicate, um, and that's where like the early people that uh, came from. And it was never really like even then when it was the Discord that I set up as a result of having a stream, it was not like my Discord, right?
yeah.
Um, it was a Discord I started, and it was a Discord that like I was heavily associated with, but it was never like the Chris Biscardi fan club, um, which I never wanted it to be, right?
Sure, sure.
So like, um, it's a really interesting differentiation between Party Corgi and other communities where like yes, I started it and I'm like a high ranking member of the community or whatnot, but it's very much um, if I went away, the community would still live.
Mm,
Right? There's enough people now where like there's a bunch of other mods that could take over and like they know how to at this point, right? Like they do all of the things that I would otherwise do and things like that. So like, and then there's people who own specific channels and things like that. So like we're thinking about how to horizontally scale without like somebody like me needing to own everything, right?
sure.
Um, like it's super useful to have somebody to drive initial new stuff, right? New segments of the community, new like we started adventure clubs, we started new channel segments for like people's open source projects that they're starting and maintaining. And like it's useful to have somebody to drive that in the initial state. But once it's up and running, like there should be a playbook for starting those new channels and shutting
Yeah.
them down and like how all of that works. And yeah, very, very much so. That's sort of like the differentiator between what Party Corgi is and what other places tend to be. Um,
Well, when you
in
write
my
that
mind.
playbook, I'd love to, be one of the, reviewers on it.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it all goes out. We have a community gardening channel, and
Nice,
that's where
nice.
all of like the what do we do with the future of Party Corgi happens, right? Um, so if you're interested, just hang out in the channel.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's so funny. Like, so I wanted to. There's two things that I want to talk about, and I'm going to mention them just so I don't forget, and you can help me
Okay.
remember to come back to them. One,
Or
the name, so Party Corgi, and then second, I do want to talk about like Discord specifically. Um,
mm,
but um, I guess like so something that's interesting for me is like I am extremely introverted,
mm,
and I kind of like come out in like things like this, right? Like just a one-on-one conversation. Like I could do this all day. Like I'm super
yep.
introverted, but like this all day. Like one-on-one, like I'm down for. I'm ready
Yeah.
for it anytime. Um and so I have always had, I guess, trouble like finding my place in community because
Mm,
I've never really gotten out of that lurker phase,
mm,
if that makes sense.
yeah.
Um, and so I'm kind of curious, like, so for people kind of like me, like, what is your like advice in like maybe getting more involved in that front and like kind of like places where you can kind of find those like smaller groups of people and like one-on-one relationships in like maybe bigger communities, like
Mm.
you know like um you got like 200 or 2000 members now. Like how do you kind of like find those places for people who are a little bit more lurky still like me?
Yeah. So the first thing I'll say is that lurking is not a bad thing, right? Like, um, a lot of the people who are Party Corgi members lurk, right? And that will always be the case. That's the case with any community. Um, and there's a whole segment of things that I could say about like whenever you do something, you're having a conversation with all of those lurkers and like maybe drawing them closer and maybe not. But like that's all infrastructure, like so supply side or like whatever. Like if the community is set up to do that and operate that way, then they're doing that already. And like as a lurker, you don't really have control over that. But like if you're lurking and you want to like find your people, the best advice I have is to be what you want to see. Right. That's how the community started for Party Corgi in the first place. Right. I showed up. I sort of exhibited the behavior that I wanted to like attract, and
Yeah.
then the people who were like wanted to see more of that behavior also came around and were like, "Oh, he's doing that over here. Maybe I'll come over and do that over here." Um, so that's yeah, that's my big advice, right? Like, um, and if you don't want to, if you're too scared to like send the message or like start like potentially start a channel or lead something like an adventure club or something, just like I don't know, start looking out for conversations that you are interested in that are like relevant to you, and just start participating in them. And like you can send one message, and then like next time you can send two, right? And like you can send two for a while, and then like maybe one of the conversations like ignites something in you, and like that's the one you're passionate about, and
Yeah.
that's the one that you send like 50 messages in for whatever reason, right?
Yep.
Um, like somebody mentions Legos and you're like, I'm really into Legos. Right. Um, but like that's how you do it, right? You sort of like you're here, you participate every once in a while, you like look at the things that you want, and then when something strikes you, like make sure that you participate when that happens.
Yeah. 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 I love it. All right, you're inspiring me. I'm gonna join a bunch of communities now. Now, Party Corgi.
Yes.
Tell me about it. Not the community. We've covered a little bit about the community, the name inspiration. I feel like we maybe ended our last chat with like this
Mm.
is like the cliffhanger, and so I want to
And I was
circle.
like, ask me about that next time, and this is next time. Is that what we're
This
doing
is
here?
next time. It's next time. The time is now to talk about what Party Corgi is.
Yeah, so I had a GIF on my hard drive um, that is a corgi with a rainbow pattern, like a rotating rainbow pattern, running, and that's what that's what it is. Um, and I had it on my hard drive for a number of years, and then I don't remember why I changed my Twitter name to Party Corgi, but I haven't changed it since. And
Inspiration
that
struck.
was years ago at this point. Yeah, and that's really what it is. It's just literally that little corgi gif, and we called it Party Corgi, and um, yeah, that's where the name for the community came from. And it's like I sort of like transferred the name from me as like a branding element, if you will, like to the community, and now it's like it means the community. Like if you say
Yeah.
Party Corgi, it doesn't mean me, which is how I want it. But yeah, it's super interesting, and we could never find the person that made the GIF originally. And now, if you Google for it, like you find a bunch of Party Corgi stuff, like the network and the Discord and whatnot. Um, so yeah, I mean, like now it's in a shit ton of Slack now and whatnot, and like it's an emote that people use and people will see it. And yeah, I don't know. We never were able to find the person that originally created it.
Yeah.
So every time that I tell the story, I'm like, if you know the person, like let us know because that would be amazing, and like I would love to like figure out who that is.
Yeah, I mean, in this world, like this world today, where it's like everything kind of like gets memeified, or like you never know what's gonna like blow up, or like go like just way past your reach. I'm sure it'd be so fun to realize like, hey, this thing that I like made just for like fun, like 15 years ago, or whatever, um,
Yeah.
is now like a banner under which all of these people kind of just create and make sure that they're like practicing well together.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know, it's kind of funny because it could have been anything, right? And it could still be anything.
Yeah,
Like if we changed the logo and the name, like it wouldn't really matter.
yeah,
Right? The only thing would be like, okay, we have to buy a new domain name. Cool. Uh but like other than that, like it's just it's not the community, right? The symbol isn't the community is the community.
yeah, yeah,
So we
yeah.
have a bunch of like artists in the community that have done deviations of like a rubber party corgi or like um one of them is Jay and he's done like bear corgi mashups, and that's kind of cool.
Nice,
And
nice.
yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, Discord. I
Hmm.
feel like Discord was like this sleeper for a long time,
Hmm.
and it is just taking off. And I think my initial introduction to Discord was when I think it was like Reactiflux, maybe it was
Yep.
like on Slack, and they hit some limit, and they're like, "We're gonna
Hmm.
try this thing called Discord." It's like pretty much for gamers, but like the limits are better for us, and so we're just gonna do that. And
Yep.
then after that, it just really became like something else entirely. I mean, I guess kind of the same way that like Twitch was kind of like originally for like, gaming, and it's just like
Hmm.
exploded in the last, year for like all kinds of streaming. So I'd love to know, like, from your perspective, like, what is it that makes Discord and different
Hmm.
from, Slack and all that kind of stuff? But like, apart from like the limits, because like, that's, a thing, or a thing or whatever. But like, it seems like Discord has some special things going on that aren't just like the limits that it doesn't have.
Yes and no. Um, I think that there is the type of community that you need to run without paying for every user in it
Hmm.
is not a community that Slack wants on their platform,
Yeah.
right? Um, so like we don't need to talk about like user limits and whatever, but like fundamentally Slack has declared that they do not want to be for this type of community.
Hmm.
And this type of community is the kind of community that people want to be a part of in the vast majority
Yeah.
of situations, right? Like um and if you have a bunch of people who all like aren't necessarily paying for it and can log in whenever they want and sign up and like choose to opt out or opt in or whatever, you need like real community features, right?
Yeah.
Like you need to be able to block people if they're being abusive, like before like yeah. So like if you're in Slack, Slack is built for companies,
Yeah.
right? You can't block people in Slack because they don't want you to ever do that for some reason.
Yeah.
Um,
Can't like block a coworker.
yeah, they're well, I won't speak for them, but I have this on my blog and I have them quoted, and it doesn't look good. Um, but it's basically like you can't block people in Slack. You don't have community tools in Slack. You don't have the extra moderation tools and things like that. And Discord came from gaming community and like League of Legends and stuff like
Yeah.
that, where like abuse is a problem,
Yeah.
right? So like it's really no surprise that they built tools to address these problems.
Yeah.
And that's really where like when I say that you should use Discord for your next like open community or whatnot, that's really what I mean. They have the moderation tools
Hmm.
and they have them on a granular level. They have the APIs where if you need to build something, you can. They have the personal level tools where you can mute and block and do like whatever you need to do to feel safe, right? And be safe. And these other platforms just don't have that
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Yeah. It is interesting because like you have distinct problems, whether, working, having company chat or community chat, but like a company chat, it kind of skirts around all of those issues because it's like, hey, if your company has a bad actor, like that's an HR problem. Like you solve that through the department of your
I have
company.
opinions on that.
Yeah, like whether or not that's effective or not is another thing. But like they kind of opt out of it. They're like, hey, that's none of our business, right? Whereas
Mhm.
like, Discord, as you said, is designed for communities, and that does become like a first class concern of the actual platform, having ways to actually like moderate people and make sure that people don't have access in the wrong places or access
Mhm.
at all.
Yeah. Um, yeah, exactly.
So, um, I want to talk about the way in which you kind of you've done a lot of stuff. You've been able to like you started a podcast. You've been
Mhm.
streaming to Discord,
Yep.
and this is all stuff that I'm like super. We've talked about this before, kind of like
Mhm.
just like podcasting, like what its place is, and we've kind of played with different ways of making those like social media stingers and all that kind of stuff. We've had all these chats, but I'm really curious about the like live streaming part of it and the way that you're doing that to your Discord community. We kind of like touched on that just a little bit before, but like I'd like this is an interesting idea to me. The idea of not like open wide broadcasting, but like network specific broadcasting. How has that been, and kind of what's the goal you're hoping to achieve there?
Yeah, I guess like people have termed these kinds of things like cozy networks, and like
Hmm,
maybe I call it cozy broadcasting instead of like the wider Twitch internet broadcasting. This is some terminology that I'm getting from Maggie on the digital gardens front.
oh
So
yeah,
like I'm just kind of adopting it. But like yeah, so the intent of me streaming into Discord is that the space and the people that I care about, um, and where I see this going in the future is not necessarily like audience, it's community,
hmm,
right? And I think that there's an important difference there where like in an audience, I would be the only one benefiting, really, right? Like you can have elements of community inside of an audience, but like the focus is on like the streamer, right? And you can
sure,
see this in game streaming discords and things like that, and they're basically all fan clubs for a specific streamer or YouTuber or something like that, right? And then there's community, and community is the other end of that, where like everybody is benefiting, right?
yeah,
Or everybody can benefit, right? It's not necessarily that everybody's having a great old time and everybody benefits, but like um, there's like the idea that the benefit is inherent to everybody participating in the community as opposed to being for like a single purpose or brand or whatnot. So yeah, I forget actually what your original question was, but that like there's a difference between audience and the community. Um,
yeah, yeah. Well, the reason I ask is because like this is kind of plays into like the original reason I wanted to talk with you about that, but then also that kind of like that like lurking side of things that like I'm kind of like naturally I kind of naturally live in as someone who's largely an introvert. And
mhm,
one of the reasons that I wanted to talk with you about it is because I feel like you have done it in the way that I would like to see it done. And so like I
mhm,
feel like, React podcast has always been basically an excuse for me to steal an hour of, people's time. And I feel like that has been like that's served me and I think a lot of people well to be able to kind of like lurk in that. However, I do feel like, there's a lot of like spin-off conversations that people would like to have, and there's not like a place for that right now beyond just
mhm,
kind of like communities that people make for themselves. Or like just kind of like taking an episode and like talking about it with their own circle of people. And I think that's the thing that I'd like to like do better, right? And it's like, and I think that like the way you're talking about this, like fan club versus like community, is like very much something that like I'm interested in, because it's like I have no interest in like achieving guru status, right? Like like it just kind of like it just creeps me out. The whole thing is just like the whole guru culture is like totally messed up. And like for
mhm,
me, all I've ever wanted was this right here, like what we're doing
mhm.
right now. But I would like to help serve people better. And I think what you're describing is very much like in line with the goals that I would like to see like kind of like achieved over the last or over the next, you know, year or so.
Yeah. So I guess to answer your original question, which I remembered now, why do am I streaming like into Discord?
Yes.
And it's because like I said earlier, like somebody needs to do it first when you're like creating a new feature of a community, right?
Yeah.
And I'm that person right now, or I was anyway. There's now groups of people who stream both in the Discord and also stream into Discord and use audio chat and send it to Twitch, which is a really interesting new development
Okay.
that we've been experimenting with on the Party Corgi Network Twitch channel.
Okay.
So I stream to my personal channel less, but I stream to the Party Corgi Twitch channel, and I do it from Discord with like a panel chat, basically that happens in Discord, or like game night happens in Discord, and we stream everybody and their screen shares of playing a certain game to the Twitch channel, which is really cool. Um, so yeah, there's a couple of different things, but like yeah, I made the move from Twitch to Discord because that's where I want to be and that's where I want to see more happen,
Yeah.
right? I like the community aspect. I like the fact that people will just be basically co-working, screen sharing, talking about what they're doing in voice chat. You can just drop in and listen. You can drop in and participate. You can learn something from somebody, and like, yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Now, so it sounds to me like this has really become like your like I guess breeding ground for ideas and discussion. So like you're not gonna like go like if you have a new idea for something like something you want to like test out, discuss with people, or like stream or whatever, like you're thinking about it community first, and then there may be an export to like a podcast or like
Mhm.
a Twitch stream or like an ebook or course or like whatever, but like fundamentally that stuff is happening first in your community for your community, and then come what may for like the exports.
Yeah, especially since like so the Party Corgi podcast is attached to the community, right? And it's a thing that I host because somebody has to host it, right? um and there will be conversations in the middle of like Discord, and we'll be like, this is a really deep, interesting conversation. Why don't we move it to the podcast? And then we can jump in like a Discord voice channel, do the recording, and then we can ship it on the podcast. And that is a really interesting way of like doing the thing that we're doing right now, and like what we were talking about with like the one-on-one conversations in the corners of the world are amazing, and more people can learn from them, right? So uh, that's an episode. That one of those episodes is coming out. I think 2 weeks from now, 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay.
One that I was having with Dom, which is another mod in the Party Corgi network, and we were just talking about community and whatnot, and we were like, well, we have a lot of thoughts on this. We could just record it,
Yeah.
and we did.
So what are so you mentioned the some of the features of Discord. So you have the administration, but then also you have this like voice channel thing. Is there also video in Discord? You know, like could we do something like this, like one on one, without having to like use Zoom for it?
Mhm. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
And I can get more into that, but the answer is yes.
Yeah, well, I am kind of interested in like where like when you decide to make certain exports. So like you decide to do a podcast, you decide to do the Twitch, you decide to do all those kind of things. Is it I mean, obviously everything takes work and setup, but
Hmm.
there are channels. It sounds like there are channels in which you can like redirect that out of Discord when when you want to.
Yep. We have so you can do video chat, you can do voice chat, you can do text chat, whatever. And we have a voice channel which also does video called Live on Twitch.
Hmm.
And if you're in that channel, the assumption is that you are streaming to Twitch. So if you join the channel, you are now part of voice chat that is now recorded and broadcast to the internet. Um, and that's kind of like the way that you would and people have been doing this, like Trevor's been doing this every Wednesday night for his No Word project, which is really cool. You should check it out.
Yeah.
um, and a couple other people do this as well, and we do it on the Party Corgi Network Twitch. And it's really interesting because like you can set up OBS like we were talking about earlier, and it can just pull in all the audio streams and then send the video if you do the pop out chat, uh, and it auto lays everything out, so like you don't have to worry about, oh, I'm gonna put like a screen over here for this person and then a screen over here for this person. Hope Zoom doesn't mess it up. Uh,
When I
like,
spent the previous hour just today trying to figure out, and then I just gave up and I was like, I'm just gonna screen cap Zoom.
yep, exactly.
Interesting. So I love this. I love this concept because I've been trying to figure out for a really long time, like how to like where the hub is. And I think that this is like, you know, really a hard thing to figure out, right? Because, you know, for some people the hub is Twitch, right? The hub
Mhm.
is like YouTube, and like the one of the artifacts is Discord. But
Mhm.
I'm really driven to this idea because I mean there's so many effects of this, right? Where it's like if I say, I mean, we just had an episode with Gant Laborde, and he gave, you know, away free licenses to a course that he has on machine learning.
Mhm.
And I didn't have a place to be like, hey, if you want these 5 licenses, hit me up here. It was just like, I guess, like at me or DM me on Twitter. Like there was no place to say like, hey, like you've been listening to this show, you're part of this community, like you get these things. And so I just love learning from you on this front because it sounds like Discord really gives you a place to do that.
Mhm. Yeah, I'd agree with that. I actually did the same thing with Gant a while back on my Twitch channel, and the way I treated it was the people who were there, who showed up to the Twitch channel, got the code, and we did just a giveaway on the spot.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
and we did that over the course of like two shows or something like that. Dom, by the way, is saying that he would love to help you set up the React Podcast Discord. So
I see
there's your offer.
that.
um,
I have no excuses now.
and Dom like does this for a living now, or
Yeah,
not for a living, but like he does this to get paid now, and like that's a huge offer. So I
yeah,
would take him
yeah.
up on it if you're looking for
I
it.
loved having him on the show. I think maybe like 15 episodes back, we just had a great chat about like community, and Dom just loves people, loves communities. Like
Yeah.
I love his enthusiasm. Always makes me feel really good after like chatting with him. Cool. Well, I guess that's kind of I feel like that's the questions that I have. If anyone in chat has questions, I'd love to kind of like continue this on. But I guess just wrapping up for the podcast, um, I'm curious over the next 3 to 5 years, like what are some things that you think are really going to take off in terms of community development, and the tools and experiences that we use to provide these, I guess, like distributed, kind of remote community experiences.
um, it's hard to say which tools are going to take off because 3 to 5 is a long time,
let's
as we're
let's
both aware, working in the JavaScript ecosystem.
yeah, let's make it
Um,
1.5 to 3. Let's do that.
Discord is going to continue to grow. It's been like silently growing since at least Reactiflux swapped over, right? Like it's been on my radar since at least that long.
Yeah,
Um, they are making more community tools. They're refocusing on communities as opposed to gaming. Unlike Twitch, which went the other way recently with
yeah,
whatever. Um, but yeah, so I mean, Discord is definitely a space to watch if you're looking for an open community. If you have a community where basically like everybody in the community is not going to be able to pay like $5 a month to like participate,
yeah,
Discord is a great spot. It's also kind of hilariously in context, um, a great place for like paid communities if you have those, or
mm,
like paid audiences, or whatever you want to call that, right? Where you have like a newsletter or paid newsletter, paid podcast, and you give people a space as a result of that. There are people running Discord access through Patreon and stuff like that, which is a really interesting mechanism. Um, but yeah, I think that over the course of the next year and a half or 2 years or whatnot, Discord is going to continue to grow. They've been doing a lot of good work in terms of features and stuff like that. They already have a good space. I don't see Slack being like, yeah, we need to compete with Discord. They seem to have made their choice.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
The enterprise is a very strong force.
there will be other tools, especially around like community metrics and stuff like that, and then community. There will be people who are like, yes, we're all quarantined now. I need to build something. And some of those tools will be usable, and some of them will, not work,
Yeah,
as most things are. And one of them may be great, right? One of them may be the next thing that you use to build your next community. I haven't seen that one yet, but it's possible.
well, hey Chris, this has been amazing. Thank you for I've long admired your ability to foster a community in a very virtuous, true to yourself, kind of way. And so I'm grateful for you coming on the show, kind of helping me, I guess, just fit the pieces of this whole thing in my mind. I'm a very like slow thinker, and so I really appreciate your voice, for all of us, but then also for me. So thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thank you. And I'd like to thank the mods of the Party Corgi Discord before we head out. Dom, Derek, Prince, and Monica for all the work that y'all do. It's really appreciated, and all the tumblers as well.
Yes, love it, love it. Cool. Well, we'll have to have you on again for number 4 sometime. And I don't have any good lead-ins. Do you have any secrets? Do you want to like just
Dropping secrets.
hang over the cliff for the next time?
Be what you want to see, and that's it. That's the end game.
I love it. That's great advice. Thanks again for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Sweet, we did it. Oh, thank you to the mods. Love, love, love. Lots of love. Whew. I learned a lot. Thank you for thanks for being willing to have this conversation publicly with me.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's no reason to not have it publicly,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah. I totally agree. I'm curious. So I had some gear questions. Sorry, I was just admiring your setup so much as we were talking, and so I have to. It's amazing like how close our setups are right now, but yours is better than mine. So I have to ask, what lens are you using right now, because it looks strong.
Stock A5100.
Really?
Yeah.
Like just the kit
Just
lens,
the lighting.
the 16 to 50.
The lighting.
But how are you getting? Okay. Wait a second though. Like
there's another one over there too.
But okay, the lighting is one thing, but like okay, so like you can see my backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see, or like the fuzz, right? You see the fuzz on the backdrop.
Yeah.
Right. So how do you defuzz your backdrop? How are you getting that nice
focus.
nice
So,
shallow
you know how far
depth
that
of
away
field?
is away?
Oh, it's far away.
I mean, like my arm's really long, so like I can touch it still. Like here's my finger, but like my arm is extended from where I am right now.
Gotcha.
I think that you're closer to yours. If I was looking at you earlier, your arm is also shorter. So.
It is. Yeah, I'm sure it's significantly shorter.
But it's pretty far away, and it's zoomed in a little bit, I think.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, I think.
Yeah. So Ryan mentions f-stop. I think I'm at the lowest one for this kit lens.
Oh no, I definitely have it aperture priority. I forgot about that.
Yeah, but I think. Okay, I zoomed in slightly, so I'm at f4, but the lowest it goes is 3.5. So I naturally assumed that you had like kind of like one of those like Sigma like 1.4 like lenses that's just getting you a shallow depth of field. But no,
like it's focus point and aperture priority, and I'm at f3.5 100 auto ISO, no plus or minus on brightness.
Interesting.
And, yeah, it's almost certainly aperture priority, because that's what I shoot on when I shoot.
Okay.
So that's what I went with.
Man, I thought I really thought that you were gonna give me an option that would allow me to just throw money at the problem, but
I can.
You're telling me that I just have to use the tools that I have better.
Just write some YAML.
I wonder if touch up my appearance would oh, it does kind of.
Yeah. Wait, is that a thing in Zoom?
I wonder. Okay, that's kind of cool. So I click up we're in it right now. We are in it. Yeah. If you're not interested in gear talk, like you
I can clap.
Nice. There is nothing left for you on this kind of like after dark of the React podcast.
Where is the turn on original sound? That's the thing. Hang on.
Ooh.
Testing.
Holy crap.
We did the whole thing without having better sound, didn't we?
Oh my gosh, you sound amazing. What the heck? Okay, so how do I do that?
I didn't realize that you had to also enable it for the call.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so where is this? I'm using this now and forever. You've changed. I mean, touch up my appearance kind of helps like shade that background out a little bit. But
where's the touch up my appearance? You find that, I'll find the other.
Yeah. So it's in video. So you go into settings and it's video, and it's my video, and there's like enable HD, mirror my video, and touch up my appearance is the third one.
I clearly don't know how to use Zoom. Where is settings?
Hey, wait. I think I can put it on stream. Give me just a second. I'm gonna unmaximize that. I'm gonna pull this over. It's you won't be able to see it until you see it on stream, I think. Which is apparently like 20 some seconds later.
It's so long. Why can I not find this button?
Okay, so yeah, so you do like command, or I guess you're on a PC, so maybe your settings button is different. But yeah, just go into video, and this guy touch up.
You have a more button.
More. Oh, So
I do not. I don't have a more button.
probably just because I'm the host, maybe.
There's nothing next to my reactions. I'll have to do that at some other time. Go into okay, but I can see yours now. Ha. Go into recording. I think.
Okay, recording.
Oh no, the 15-second delay.
Okay, so I'm just gonna read through. I have choose a location to save.
Hey, Will.
What's up, Will? Um,
I
record.
just saw you click touch up my appearance.
It does. It kind of it fades out the background a little bit, which is nice. That's kind of what I was after. Okay, so I have record separate audio files, which I have enabled. Optimized for third-party video editor enabled. I don't have a.
This might be a Windows only thing. Ooh.
I'm gonna be so.
I'll send you a screenshot of what mine looks like.
Okay.
But there's an additional there's a second button that will also screenshot for you right now because I won't be able to get it later. But yeah, so there's a button. I'll send it to you.
Interesting.
It might only be on Windows. I don't know. But
man, maybe it's time for me to get a streaming PC. Maybe it's time.
I can't believe that button was not clicked. I could have clicked that an hour ago.
It's like ridiculous. It's like night and day. Like how much different you sound over on my side. It actually sounds like you're talking into a microphone.
Like I have an SM7B. Is that what it sounds like? That's nice.
It does.
It would be awful if I had an SM7B and it didn't sound like that for an entire episode.
It'd be a real shame if I spent $800+ on this audio chain and just sounded like I was wearing a headset over the Zoom compression.
Cool.
Okay. Nice. Well, we got that sorted out. No.
What else you got?
I think that's it, man. I think I probably have to do work or something.
Ouch. That's rough. Well, I'll send you this audio file and whatnot.
Right.
And I guess I can stop recording now.
Yeah, same. Hey, thanks again for being here. I appreciate your insight is invaluable to me, and I appreciate you. I guess just like being exactly who you want to see in the community, because it makes it really easy to be like, oh yeah, like I want at least a good amount of that.
I appreciate that a lot. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Of course, I appreciate people who have figured out how to like do them, but like not in a like I do me, you can fuck off kind of way.
Well, to be fair, I do say that to people who are assholes. So.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's fair. Cool.
But yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
always
of course.
a pleasure.
Always. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for so long. I'll see you around.
Yeah, anytime. Later.
See ya. Oh, hey. It's still us. I'm still here. If you're still watching, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you hanging out with us. Again, if you want more videos like this, I guess subscribe. I don't know. This is a whole like experiment for me. Just kind of streaming this stuff. In light of our conversation, maybe this will all move to Discord. Who knows? Anyway, I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Super fun. I hope you got something out of it. And yeah, have a awesome freaking day.